Hello, welcome to Stretch and Flow Yoga. My name's Bridget from Lucky Elephant Yoga and Wellness, and I'm going to be leading you through the class today. So, what is Stretch and Flow? So, Stretch and Flow is kind of what it says. It's a stretching class with some flow style to it. So, we go a little bit more than a gentle, but a little bit less than like a beginner class where we're working on a lot of the techniques. This is really about your joints, your body, your muscles and how to move them, how to challenge them, how to stretch them, and just a nice overall, hopefully rounded class for you. All right, so as with any class, the rule is you do what works for you. And if it's not working, it doesn't feel okay, then stop doing it. So that we take care of our bodies, we stay pliable, we stay movable, and so that comes with a little bit of mindfulness in our practice. So for today's class, you'll need a blanket or something to sit up on. If you have a throw blanket or even a pillow, some kind of cushion to sit on, and a couple of yoga blocks or books or towels that you folded up into makeshift blocks that will work as well. All right, so we're going to start today on a cross-legged seat, sitting up on whatever support you have, whether that's the blanket or the cushion. Let your palms of your hands find your thighs. And for a moment, I want you to just literally slouch. Yeah, I know, our typical posture, right? How we are most of our days. We tend to be jutted forward with our chin, right? Rounded into our low back, which is not safe, right? Rocking to the back of our seat. So here I want you to close your eyes and notice your breathing. Is it easy? Is it restricted? And from here, I want you to just find your sits bones. So they're the bony prominences at the base of the pelvis. And notice what that just did to your pelvis and to your hips. And then I want you to think about that low back finding its natural curve, which is towards the front of the body. And start to feel the upper back start to stack a little bit more. The shoulder blades coming onto the back. So you're starting to find a little bit more posture. And then begin to lift up so the crown of your head reaches up towards the sky. And all of a sudden you've found your posture. Maybe your hands had to even adjust and come a little bit higher on your thighs. And feel your elbows down beneath your shoulders. And the palms of your hands are just grounding. And now notice your breath. See if you can let that breath resonate from the belly up into the ribs and the chest. And then releasing from the chest, down out the ribs, and finally out the belly. And again, in to the belly, the ribs, the chest. And out the chest, the ribs, and the belly. And let's take 3 more just like this. When you finish your 3 rounds, because you're going in your own timing, I just want you to release your chin to your chest, nice and easy. But take your time, there's no rush. With the chin to the chest, we're just going to release the hands down to either side of the hips. And let the fingertips be grazing the ground, but the heel of the hand is heavy and lifted off. And then roll your right ear over to your right shoulder. And see if you can feel a little bit of length in the left side of the neck. And then release the chin to the chest and roll your left ear over to your left shoulder. And just feeling length into the right side of the neck. Good, and again, chin to chest. Let's place the hands back onto the thighs and then extend those hands out to the knees. A big full breath in here. And as you exhale, begin to rock back and round out through your spine. And if your eyes are still closed, you can begin to open them as we inhale and shift forward to the front of the pelvis and lift up through the sternum. And then exhale, we rock back and round out through the spine. Again, inhale forward, bending the elbows, lift the chest. And exhale, rocking back. Good, let's do 2 more like that. Inhale forward. And exhale back. And then one more time. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Good. And now let's sit nice and tall. And we're going to sweep the arms back behind you and just clasp your hands right at your low back. Good. Now start to roll your shoulders back, hug your elbows towards each other. Extend the knuckles down and take a little lift up of the sternum. Good. And then find neutral. Turn to the right and see if your elbows can go towards your left waist. Good. Coming into a twist here. Good. And now we're just going to release the hands and cross your left hand over to the outside of your right thigh. And then let that left hand press into the right thigh to twist you just a little deeper. And then let your head go last. So you're in a little half bind here. Good. And now let's sweep that right arm down and up alongside your right ear. And we're just going to cross the arm over. Good. Let's lift the arms, bend your elbows, and just give yourself a hug for a moment. I know, for those of you that are binders, just hug. Sometimes we just need to be reminded to give ourselves a hug. So take a big full breath in and exhale through the mouth. Good. And now just lift the elbows and start to sweep your arms up overhead. We're going to clasp the hands when they get there and flip the palms. Good. Stretching up through the waist, ground even deeper into your sits bones. And let's take a tip over to the right. And keep both hips down and maybe your head starts to look underneath the left arm. Good. And then coming all the way back up to center. Let's release the hands, sweep the arms forward, shift to the back of your seat. Keep your ankles crossed and we're going to lift the legs and just start to activate through the belly a little bit. Keep the chest opening, breathing. Switch the crossing of your legs so your other ankle is on top. And then let's place the legs back down. Good. Sweep your arms back behind you, clasp your hands. Good. Reach the knuckles down, take a lift up through the chest. And then come back to center. Take your knuckles over to your right waist. Turn to the left. Good. Keeping the spine nice and tall. You're going to look over that left shoulder very carefully. Then leaving the left hand where it is, we're going to cross the right hand over to the left thigh. Press into that right hand and maybe the twist deepens just a little bit. And then sweep your left arm up and alongside your left ear. And we're going to simply cross that arm over. Lift the arms so the left elbow is on top of the right for another hug. And again, you can just close your eyes for a moment. And let's take a big full breath in and exhale through the mouth. Nice. Open your eyes, lift the elbows, sweep those arms up. Once more, clasp your hands, flip the palms. Keep the shoulders on the back, grounding into your seat. Lengthen all the way up through the crown of your head, and then tip over to the left. Keeping both hips grounded, we can turn the head underneath the right arm. Good, and then come all the way back up and release those hands. all the way down. Good. Let's uncross the legs and just bring the soles of the feet together. Place your hands on top of your knees and start circling your torso around. Easy circles. Rolling around the pelvis. Moving into the low back. Good, and then circle the opposite direction. Excellent. And now take a big full breath in, sitting up tall. And as you exhale, reach your chest toward your toes. And we're going to fold forward over the legs. Release your head, release your shoulders, release your elbow. Breathing deeply into the hips and across the low back. Good. And now let's walk the upper body over to the right. Keeping the left hip grounded, release that left shoulder down. And then back to center. And walk it over to the left. And this time the right hip stays grounded, that right shoulder releases down. Both elbows heavy. Good. And one more time, we're going to come back to center and go over to the right. Now this time I want you to plant your right hand down just a little bit away from your right hip. Good. Let's start to roll that left shoulder back. Reach your left arm up and overhead and come into a side bend. Good. Take a big full breath in and exhale, release it back over the right knee. Walk your hands to center and we'll take that over to the left. So walk over to the left, place the left hand beside the left hip, turn the chest up, extend your right arm alongside your right ear, keeping both hips grounded into this side bend. Take a full breath in and exhale, release over the left knee. Good, now we're gonna do it a little faster. So we're gonna walk through center and our inhale takes us up and over to the right. Our exhale sweeps down and around, all the way over to the left. Inhale, lift that right arm, open up to the left, and exhale, release and sweep it forward. Good. 2 more times each side. Inhale to the right. Exhale, sweep. Inhale to the left. Exhale, sweep. Good. 1 more each side. Inhale, right. Exhale, sweep. Inhale, left. And exhale just to center, fold just a little deeper over those legs. Breathing into the hips. Walk your hands back and begin to roll yourself back up to sit. Very nice. Let's bring the knees together and then walk your feet a little wider. Place your hands back behind you. So your hands come to the mat wherever they will. And let's just start to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Good. Rocking across the seat. Getting some movement into the hips. Good. And now the next time they go over to the right, let's stay there. Got to come up and over to the left and stay there. And now while you're here at the left, you might take your left ankle and just cross it on top of your right thigh. Only if it doesn't feel discomfort or pain in any way. Good. Sensation is okay, but pain is a line we don't want to cross, right? And you can kind of gauge it by the breath. Are you able to breathe? Are you able to stay present? Good. Let's uncross that ankle. Bring the knees back to center. Take them over to the right and cross maybe the right ankle over. Good, and now let's bring it back to center. Walk those feet together. Let's wrap the arms around and give the legs and the hips a little hug. Couple of breaths here. Good, and now let's come on to hands and knees. So you can slide your blanket off to the side. You can place it underneath your knees if your knees don't have enough cushion. Let's find wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and a nice long spine. That same spine you found when you were sitting and breathing, right? From our collapsed, rounded to our length. That's what we want to hold on to. And now let's start circling around. So we're rolling into the wrists, we're rolling back into the knees. And when you go into the wrists, I want you to think more about the knuckles of the hands grounding and less about the heel of the hand. Good, we'll protect our wrists that way. And now let's circle the opposite direction. Good, and then come back to center and just shift forward and back. Good, one more time forward. Now this time tuck your toes and start to shift the hips back. And get a little stretch into the feet, into the toes. One more breath here. Nice, and come all the way back up and you can untuck those toes. Now inhale, lift your chest, lift your tail, find your cow back. And exhale, round into your cat. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Let's do two more like that. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. One more. Good, and then just find a nice long spine again. And let's circle the right knee around in the air. Good, and then circle the opposite direction. Good, and now let's extend that right leg back into the air, press into the right foot. Now all I want you to do, I want you to keep the front ribs wrapping towards each other and just lift the right leg in little pulses. Lift, 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 yep. Nothing to, see if you can use a little bit more muscular effort than force. Good. Good, now let's just press into the foot. And as you exhale, bring your knee towards your nose, round. Inhale, extend the leg back. Exhale, knee to nose, round. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, bring knee forward, round. Good. One more time to extend that leg back. And now we're going to sweep the leg out to the side and place the foot down. Let's walk the hands back and come all the way up onto the left knee. Sweep your arms up alongside your ears and then release your right hand down. Take a big full breath in. And as you exhale, tip over to the right. And you can look underneath that left arm, really breathing and opening up through the chest into your gate pose. Good, let's come all the way back up. Sweep both arms alongside your ears. Release your hands down in front of you, walking the hands forward again. Good, and now from here, we're gonna shift into our right hand and extend the left arm out to the side. Exhale, thread that left arm underneath. See if you can start to lower down onto your left shoulder. Good. So if this is a little bit too much with the leg extended out, you can bring the knee in, which we'll do in a moment, but see how much you can keep it extended out. Maybe it even just goes back a little bit for you. From here, if your left elbow or left upper arm can find the ground, and your weight's not all in your head, you can try lifting your right arm and wrapping it around, just like you found in that twist at the beginning. And then maybe as you press into that right foot, you can twist a little bit more. Awesome. Some of you might even be able to take left hand to right foot, but that isn't a requirement. Good. Let's unwind the right arm. Press into your right hand to unthread. Come all the way back up onto your hands. And then as you press into your right foot, let's lift the right leg, sweep it around behind, cross it over to the left. Tuck your right toes and then look over your left shoulder. Try to see your right foot opening through the whole right side. Deep breaths. Good, and then bring the right knee back beside the left. And let's just wag the hips a little from side to side. Awesome, so let's do all of that on the second side. So finding your hands and your knees, start just circling your left knee around in the air. Good, and then circle the opposite direction. Excellent, let's extend that left leg back. Pressing through the foot, start your little pulses up towards the sky. Awesome, and then press through that foot. Exhale, bring your knee towards your nose. Inhale, extend it back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, back. Exhale, knee to nose. Awesome. One more time, extend it back. And now we're going to extend the left leg out to the side and place that left foot down, just like we did the right. Walk yourself back and come up onto your right knee. Sweep your arms up alongside your ears. Good. And now let's take a big full breath in. Exhale the left arm down and tip it over to the left into your gate pose. Good. Going only as far as you can keep the chest rolling open. Nice. And take a big breath in to come back to center. Place your hands down. Walk the hands a little bit forward in front of you. Good. Now let's shift into that left hand. Extend your right arm out to the side. And as you exhale, thread the right arm underneath and try to lower onto your right shoulder. Good. Again, we're trying to get that whole right upper arm onto the mat for support, protecting our cervical spine. And if we can, then we can lift the left arm, wrap it around. Good. Rolling the left shoulder back into this twist. Good. One more breath here. Awesome. Let's release the left hand down. Press into that left hand. Unthread your right arm. Lift the left leg up. Sweep it around behind you. Cross your left leg over to the right. Tuck those left toes. And then let's look over the right shoulder this time to try to see your left foot. Good, and now bring the left knee beside the right. And again, just wag your hips from side to side. Good. From here, you're gonna walk your hands about a hand print and a half forward. Good. And your knees might need to step back just a little bit as well, but we're gonna shift the hips back. Now I want you to notice my hips are gonna stay in the air as my forearms come down, and I'm gonna come into puppy pose with my forehead releasing down and my chest melting towards the mat. Deep breaths here. Good, and then slowly come all the way up, back to hands and knees. Awesome. Let's take our 2 blocks and just place them a little bit ahead of our hands from hands and knees. Place your hands onto your blocks so you're in a little bit long stance here. And we're going to place the right foot outside of the right hand. Okay? And now shift forward with your hips. And if you notice that the left knee is uncomfortable, place some extra padding underneath that left knee. Take a big full breath in, lift the chest. And then as you exhale, shift back. Let's flex the right foot and round the torso. Inhale, shift forward, lift the chest. Exhale, shift back, flexing the foot to round. Good. 2 more. Inhale forward. Exhale back. 1 more time. Inhale forward. And exhale back. Very nice, everybody. Let's shift forward once more. Good. Staying here for just a couple of breaths. Good. And now I'm going to lower the block on under my left hand. So you can either lower it or you can just release it all together. I'm going to bring the right hand to the waist and turn your chest to the right. Good. You can stay here. You can wrap that right arm around behind you into that same bind. Good. Keep breathing. Awesome. Release that right hand down. Shift your hips back just carefully. Place your right knee beside your left. Wag your hips a little from side to side and reset up those blocks. Good. Now from here, we'll step the left foot forward to the outside of the left hand. Shift your hips forward, lift up through your chest, and then shift your hips back. Flex the foot and round. Inhale forward, lifting the chest up. Exhale back, flexing the foot round. Good. 2 more. Shifting forward and shifting back. And 1 more. Good. And now again, we'll shift forward. Stay here for just a few breaths. Good. And now I'm going to flip that block underneath the right hand, down 1. Bring my left hand to my waist and start to turn the chest to the left. Good. From here, you can wrap your left arm around, coming into that half bind. Good. And then release that left hand down, shift the hips back carefully, place your left knee beside your right, wag the hips a little from side to side. Good. Let's keep the hands onto the blocks, walk the knees back again. And we're going to shift back towards actually walk the knees forward a little bit. We're going to shift back into a child's pose with your hands, your arms elevated. So your knees can separate as much as you'd like to create space for your belly and your ribs. And then the arms are lifted to give you a little bit of a back bending effect in the shoulders. Deep breaths. Good, and now let's come all the way back up to hands and knees very carefully. Nice. Okay, let's flip those blocks onto their lowest height. And you want to make sure that you've got enough grip with your blocks. We're going to have our hands on our blocks and we're going to tuck our toes, shift the weight into your hands, lift your hips, and take it back into a downward dog. Knees can be bent, spine long, deep breaths. Good, let's bend the right knee, keeping the left leg extended as much as possible. And then we'll switch. We'll bend the left knee, extending the right leg as much as possible. Good. Again, bending the right knee. This time, maybe you turn the chest underneath the left arm. And then switch. Bend the left knee. Maybe the chest turns underneath the right arm. Good. And then back to center. Let's walk the feet all the way forward till they come to the outside of your hands. Okay, so we're in a wide stance, about as wide as the mat. Fold forward. And if your hands aren't finding your blocks when you're folding forward, then move the blocks to any height that you need. Just release and fold over your legs for a few breaths. Good, and now let's soften the knees and roll yourself all the way up to stand. Nice, coming all the way up, just standing tall. Feet are still wide, okay? I'm gonna lift the left arm up alongside the left ear. Tip over to the right, and the hips can shift a little bit to the left to try to keep them a little bit more center. And you can look underneath that left arm. Good, come all the way back up, release the left arm down. Lift your right arm and tip over to the left. Good, and then all the way back up to stand. Let's sweep the arms back behind you, clasp those hands again, extend your knuckles, lift your chest, and as you exhale, fold forward over your legs, letting the knuckles lift and your head release down. Deep breaths here. Good, and now let's come all the way back up, letting the knuckles guide you back to stand. Release those hands and just stand tall. Nice. All right, now let's inhale, sweep your arms all the way up. And exhale, open your arms, dive forward over those wide legs, placing the hands onto the blocks. Inhale, come onto your fingertips, lengthen through your spine. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, sweep your arms out and up. And exhale, arms by your side. Good. We're going to do that 2 more times. Just a simple sun salutation. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, open and dive forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale your arms out and up. And exhale, arms by your side. Good. 1 more time. Inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, dive over your legs. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to fold. Good. Let's stay folded. And let's just place the hands on the blocks, even if you have to bend the knees. Carefully step your right leg back, and then step your left leg back and come back into that downward facing dog. Good. From here, we're going to play around with our downward dog just a little bit by lifting the right leg slowly into the air. Good. Breathing into that left side body. Place the right foot down. Lift the left leg. Good. Lower the left foot. Lower your knees. Good. And let's just sit back on the heels and come up. Excellent. All right, so from here, let's just swing the legs around. And I want you to take a hold of that blanket again. You're going to sit up on the blanket. Good. Sits bones on the edge of the blanket. Extend your legs forward. Nice, sitting tall. Let's bend the right knee in towards the chest. Press into that left foot and sit tall. As you exhale, begin to turn to the right and let your right hand come behind you, but we're not going to lean back into that hand. We're just going to stay up on the fingertips, kind of like a kickstand, just keeping you lifted and supported. Keep pressing into your left foot. Your right arm can wrap around your left arm can wrap around your right knee, or it can cross all the way over. Whatever works for you today. Then this right arm can wrap around to that same half bind that you have found many times in class today. So take some deep breaths here. Good, let's release the right arm, turn back to center. Take a hold of your right foot, and we're going to shift back and begin just to extend the right leg any amount. So even if it's still a bend, just extending, keep the shoulders on the back, breathing here. Good. And then bend that right knee, place the foot down. Open the right knee out to the side and place your right foot to your left inner thigh. So we're going to come into Janu Shirshasana, and you're just going to turn the chest toward the left knee and sit really tall. As you exhale, let's walk the chest forward and fold over the left leg. Keep the chest moving towards the toes, even as you release your head and your shoulders. So we keep a length in the low back. Deep breaths all the way up through the back of that leg. Good, and now let's roll yourself all the way back up to sit. Bring the right knee up and extend that right leg out. Good, shake out your legs just a little bit. And then let's bend the left knee and press into the right foot. Sit tall. And then as you exhale, we'll turn to the left. Find the left fingertips down behind you into their little kickstand, sitting super tall and pressing into the right foot. Good, and then once you get steady through the torso, you can wrap that left arm around behind you, coming into that bind. Good, and now let's sweep the body back around the center. We're going to shift back, take a hold of the bottom of the left foot, and begin just to extend that leg any amount. Good. Keeping the shoulders on the back, so we don't want to start to round into the upper back over round into the upper back. Good, and then bend the left knee. Place the foot down, and now we'll open the left knee out to the side and place your left foot to your right inner thigh. Turn your chest towards your right knee, sit super tall, and then press into your right foot as you fold forward. Again, the chest going towards the toes before you release your head and your shoulders. And deep breaths all the way up through the back of that right leg. Good, one more breath. And let's roll it all the way back up. Good, bring the left knee up, extend that left leg forward, shake out your legs. Awesome. And now we're gonna just scoot forward off of the blanket, slide that blanket off to the side, slide your blocks off to the side. Got it, and we're gonna take the legs straight ahead. Now we're gonna slowly lower onto our backs today, using the breath. Yeah, so let's take it 4 breaths down onto the back today, all right? So arms straight ahead. And we're going to start at the beginning of the first breath, end at the end of the fourth breath. Your breathing timing. Go slow. Here we go. Good. And once you get all the way down, let's bring the arms down by the sides. Bend your knees, feet on the mat. From here, start to press into your feet. Lift your hips up off of the mat. And then exhale, slowly release those hips back down. Good. Again, inhale, pressing up, keeping the feet super grounded. And exhale, lower. And now let's let the arms come into this. So as you lift your hips, let the arms float overhead. And as you exhale, slowly lower them down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Let's do 2 more like that. Moving and breathing. Good. And 1 more. Excellent. And now let's bring the right knee into the chest. And just hug that knee in. And then start moving the knee in some circles. Good. And then reverse the direction of your circles. Good. And now bring that right knee in and see if you can take a hold of the bottom of your right foot. See if you can extend that right leg any amount, keeping the left foot grounded. Good. There's going to be maybe some sensation all the way back here through the legs, and that's okay. Good. And then let's bend the knee again. Bring your hands to the back of your thigh and extend the leg once more. And let's start circling the right ankle. And the opposite direction. Good. Let's flex through the right foot and then point through the toes and flex through the foot and point through the toes. Nice. And one more time, flex through the foot. Bring your arms down by your sides. Now, as you inhale, reach that right leg forward just until it hovers off of the mat. As you exhale, point the toes, lift your leg back up. Flex your foot, reach the leg forward just till it hovers. And then point your toes and lift back up. Good. 2 more like that. Flex and reach. And point and lift. Good. 1 more time. Flex and reach. And point and lift. Nice. Bend that right knee. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. And then let's try bringing the left knee in towards the chest. Maybe you take a hold of the back of the thigh. Good. Maybe the knee comes in. Deep breath. See if you can stay on the sacrum instead of flattening into the low back, but you can keep the sits bones reaching towards the front of the mat. Nice. And now let's release that left thigh. Place the left foot down. Uncross the right ankle. Place the right foot down. Take a breath here. And then bring your left knee into your chest. Good. Hugging that knee in. Start some circles around in one direction. And the opposite direction. Good, and then we're going to bring the knee in. Try to take a hold of the bottom of the foot if that's available for you. Any extension, any. You don't even have to have a hold of the foot. Keep the shoulders heavy. Good, and then let's bring the knee back in, grab a hold of the back of your thigh, and now extend the leg. Good, circle that left ankle. And the opposite direction. Good, and then flex and point just a few times through the foot. Good to move all of those muscles and bones and joints and everything in the foot. Good, and then flex one more time. Place your arms down by your side. As you inhale, the left leg goes forward and just hovers off of the mat. And as you exhale, point the toes and lift the leg back up. Inhale, flex and reach. Exhale, point and lift. Good, 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. 1 more. Good, let's bend that left knee. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. See if you can bring the right knee in, but keep the sits bones pointing forward so we're balancing on the sacrum, back of the pelvis, and not on the low back. Good, and now let's release that right foot carefully to the mat. Uncross your left ankle. Open your arms out to the side and then just tip both knees over to the left. Keep your shoulders grounding. You can turn your head to the right. And you can place your left hand onto your right thigh only if that keeps the left shoulder grounded as well. And deep full breaths in and out. Good, and then let's come back to center, feet grounded. Tip both knees over to the right. Keeping both shoulders grounded, you can turn your head to the left. And then the right hand can find the left thigh, only if that right shoulder stays down as well. Good, and then bring the legs back to center. And let your arms just start to release down by your sides. Beginning to move into your Shavasana today, the legs start to extend forward. And the arms are a little bit away from you so that you can take some deep breaths into the whole torso, the belly, the ribs, the chest. Releasing out the chest, the ribs, and the belly. See if every breath can be an awareness on the inhale, and letting go on the exhale. Whatever you need to still let go of, if it's physical, if it's in the mind. Notice what you're still holding on to that is not serving your deeper purpose, your deeper light. And breathe it out. Let it go. It's not needed. So let this be the intent of your Shavasana today, noticing and letting go. And begin to deepen into your breathing. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. And just extend your right arm overhead. And turn your knees to face up so that the hips are neutral, and then bend one knee at a time. And then roll over to your right side very carefully, using that right arm as a little cushion. And press into your left hand and start to roll yourself up with your head just following the rest of the body. The hips go first, just as we stacked the spine earlier. Hips, belly, ribs, shoulders, and then your head. So you find vertical naturally and with ease and support of the body. And then your eyes can again either close or find a soft downward gaze. And just notice, how do you feel? What do you feel? And what can you take with you at the conclusion of this practice? What goes with you as you go through your day, your week, that you can call upon when you need it? What lesson has your body learned, your mind learned, your breath learned today? Because that's the true meaning of our practice. Lesson, growth, and connecting into that peace within us. And bring your palms together in front of your heart, bowing your heads with gratitude for peace, for light, for you, and for all beings. Namaste.